also on the risk of execution. And those who are executed, we may never know or hear about. Just as we are finding recently the arrest yet again of another dual Canadian-Iranian national, Aug20. The same that when they also arrested over 8 years ago, Saeed Malakpour, who then was a permanent resident of Canada, on the way to becoming a Canadian citizen. He went back to Canada, to Iran, to visit ill people in his family, and he was arrested, charged with the usual trumped up charges, tortured, and 8 years later is still in prison. And so we call on Canada that if you are going to renew diplomatic relations with Iran, as you said, you must make the renewing of diplomatic relations conditional on bringing the mass murderers to justice, conditional on freeing the political prisoners in Iran, and on putting an end to the wanton executions in Iran. And finally, we call on Iran to put an end to its persistent and pervasive assault on the rights of women, on its persistent and pervasive assaults on the rights of minorities, be they religious minorities like the Baha'i, be they ethnic minorities, to put an end also to its criminalization of freedoms protected under the Iranian constitution, whether it be freedom of religion, or freedom of speech, or freedom of assembly, or freedom of association, to put an end to the imprisoning of brave human rights defenders in Iran who are standing up for these political prisoners, to put an end to the arrest of brave lawyers in Iran who are standing in solidarity with these political prisoners, and to put an end not only to the continuing arrest of all the leaders in civil society in Iran. And I'm reminded also of the Ayatollah Borzhedi, who did nothing else but call for freedom of religion in Iran, who stood up on behalf of other religious minorities and ended up being put in prison, tortured in prison for 11 years now, for doing nothing else but asking for the protection of freedoms guaranteed under the Iranian constitution and Iranian law. And so I say, I end with how I began, that we are here to stand in solidarity with the Iranian people, that we are here to stand in solidarity with political prisoners in Iran, put in prison by those who themselves should be held accountable and standing trial for their crimes, that we are here to call on the Canadian government to join with the international community to stop the executions in Iran, to put an end to the imprisonment of political prisoners, to put an end to the culture of impunity, to bring the perpetrators to justice, and so that we can, together with the Iranian people, go down the path to celebrate what all the Iranian people want and what we want together with them. And that is freedom, liberty, democracy, protection of human rights, and to allow the Iranian people to give expression to the great Iranian civilization and its Iranian values, which regrettably are under assault. But if we free the Iranian people, then we will have those values freed as well, along with the political prisoners and the like. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cotler. We cannot say enough from the work that you have done in the Parliament and the work that you continue to do. And this is the promise.